samsara. You see in the korlo, the wheel of life, the various realms, hell realms, god realms, demigods, pleasure beings, animal realms. You see these various types of realms. What Master Nagarjuna is saying here, that those realms and liberation from those realms do not inherently exist. They are empty. They are dependent upon your mental projection. Can you just sit there in meditation and go, I'm going to be in a God realm, I'm never going to have to suffer again? No. You have countless lifetimes of ignorance produced bad deeds and mental afflictions that have it's a good word, processed you. Processed. You're like a processed food. Have processed you to suffer, and you have to slowly work at getting rid of those bad deeds and mental afflictions. How? Starting with eradicating that ignorance, destroying that ignorance. The problem, the dichotomy, is that ignorance conditions you to be ignorant. It's like a cause and an effect. That fundamental ignorance, whenever it began, will force you karmically, as you react to both yourself and all external phenomena, internal phenomena, meaning everything that you have within you, that you consider you, and external phenomena, and everything that you consider to be not you, the way you react to it with that fundamental ignorance, the tendency to see things as self-existent, it conditions you to suffer that way and to see everything ignorantly. It's constantly, so it's very hard to wrestle yourself out of that. Hence, finding a good teacher. A good teacher will be able to see in you what you need. When I became a monk, Ken Rinpoche said to me, you know, this is the only way for you to get enlightened. And I thought he was crazy. You know, as if like, well, there's been many, you know, Buddhist teachers who weren't monks. He was talking about becoming an ordained Buddhist monk. This is the only way for you to get enlightened. I knew that it was not true. What he was saying, the very incomparable Ken Rinpoche, was saying to me was that for you, this is the only way you're going to get your butt out of samsara. With your bad mind, this is the route that you need to go. Other people, maybe it'll handle the householder life, or, you know, the wild yogi life, or, you know, different. For you, you need to go monk. You know, he wasn't saying that all people, to get some kind of realization, have to become monks. No, he was saying, for me, a good teacher can pull out of you your worst mental afflictions and your best possible can pull out of you, you know, like a good trainer, like a coach, you know, can really pull out of you your best intentions and work with them. Sometimes not in the most pleasurable manner. Mental afflictions, actions, and bodies, as well as actors and results, are like cities of Gandharvas, like mirages, and like dreams. Master Nagarjuna wrote this verse in this chapter to answer those people who said, everything's not empty. Karmic deeds, their actions, the results, and the mental afflictions, they exist. Samsara exists. So they have to have some kind of existence. It's not nothing, because they're coming at Master Nagarjuna again with the belief that he is a nihilist or a non-existence person, propounder of nothing, which a lot of Western scholars believe he is. And in the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras, Shakyamuni Buddha said, made very similar statements that you could probably take to think that he was a nihilist. I don't know what the proper pronunciation of the French concept It's a French word, so I think everybody gets it wrong. And they'll want nihilism. I'm not. Shakyamuni Buddha said, for those belonging to for those of noble lineage, karmic actions do not exist, and the results of karmic actions do not exist either. So he's starting crap, and the sutra's right there. He said, how do they not exist? Inherently. If they didn't exist at all, there'd be no reason to practice the Buddha Dharma. There'd be no reason to keep any morality. If karmic actions and the results don't exist, then there's no reason to practice take up any kind of vows, to practice any kind of meditation, to keep a good, pure mind, because you're not going to get any benefit from it. You're not going to get any effect from those causes, from those seeds you're putting in your mind. Shakyamuni Buddha didn't mean that. What he said was that these things don't exist inherently. They don't have an essence. They don't hold an essence over time. They will change. Shakyamuni Buddha, for 40 years of his life, talked about karma and emptiness. No reason why 40 years of teaching about karma and emptiness, if, like he said here, karmic actions and the results do not exist. Of course they exist. They exist in a not self-existent manner. Karmic actions. There are good karmas, white karmas, often called white karmas, bad karmas, black karmas, and then neutral, unshakable, often translated unshakable, just neutral, not particularly. And then there was the various types of results. One of the results that I went over earlier is that when you do a certain karmic deed, just think of, there's a camera pointed at me right now. Just think that you're a camera. You're looking at me through a camera. You're putting mental impressions of this dude in this weird robe, and you're taking them into your mind. Buddhism would say that maybe down the line, you maybe have some kind of thought about what that crazy person said about Buddhism, you know? Similarly, when you do, say, a black karma, you make an impression in your mind, a very negative deed, especially if you have a factor of really having mental poison at the time of that bad deed. You make a very strong impression in your digital camera, or maybe your analog camera, and then that grows exponentially through your mental continuum. And there are many types of effects of that karma. There's an environmental, external effect, you know, for all karmas. There's also the tendency that it will make, if you do bad deeds over and over again, they become easier. You become conditioned to doing that type of deed. It changes you. It changes your mind. Your mind becomes infused with this tendency, especially in the highest way, understanding of if you have hate, say hate, raw hate, and you keep it up in your mind, you know, the mind, Master Shantideva in the Bodhisattva Charyavatara says, any quality of mind can be cultivated through habituation. Same thing as what I'm talking about in karma. That quality of hate will be cultivated, and you will find yourself more of a, it's like a person who is a bitter, angry young man. Sometimes bitter, angry young men, when they keep up the anger, turn into really, really angry and bitter old men. They just don't have the strength that they had when they were younger and feisty.